Boris Johnson's withdrawal bill is not really dead yet and is still one of the options on the table. And today I want to give you some more detailed information about the consequences of this withdrawal bill. So, let's get started. Hi, I'm Mark, welcome to my channel and welcome to a new Brexit video. As I said, Boris Johnson's deal is not dead yet, it's just in limbo, and in another video I showed a lot of different possibilities for Brexit that are still out there, and the withdrawal bill is one of them. Monday will be quite exciting. We are expecting decisions in Parliament, we're expecting decisions from the EU, but this weekend not too much will happen around Brexit, and so I finally could take the time to get into the withdrawal agreement a little bit more detailed. And that's why I want to talk to you about what are the first things that happen if this would get enacted. What are the consequences? What can happen afterwards? What will happen over time, possibly? And so, let's just have a look. What happens if the UK leaves with Boris Johnson's withdrawal agreement, which is still a possibility, as I said before? First of all, there will be a transition period, which means not too much will change for the people in Britain. And that transition period will at least last until December the 31st of 2020. With the beginning of the transition period, of course, there are some things that are important, because immediately the UK leaves the European Parliament, the European Council, the Council of the European Union, and so on. So there are no British MEPs anymore, no British Commissioner, and so on. Because the UK becomes a non-voting member, they have no say about new regulations and laws in the EU anymore. But the UK is still a member of the customs union and the single market and all its regulations. The UK is still subject to all EU laws, including the new ones that come after Brexit, that the EU and the European Parliament are putting up in the time between the exit from the European Union and the end of the transition period. And the UK is still under the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice, the ECJ. It's also still the case that EU law will still overturn UK law as long as the transition period lasts. And with the withdrawal agreement, the UK has to pay the agreed sum regarding, for example, pensions for EU staff that are from the UK, the British MEPs, and other commitments the UK made during their time as a member of the European Union, which have effect for the coming years. And this is the often mentioned 39 billion euros. And the EU common fishery policy still apply, so also the benefits the government is talking about for fishery will not apply immediately after the exit. It also means the UK is still signed up to all EU treaties, including the new ones between exit and the end of the transition period. The UK can't yet take any action likely to conflict with or impede EU foreign policy. And for the next one, I really have to use a quote from the withdrawal agreement. The UK cannot get into any action that is against the interests of the European Union, even if it's in their fashion as a single member of any other place, like the UN Security Council, NATO, the WTO, and so on and so on and so on. And to quote now, the UK must refrain from any action which is likely to be prejudicial to the Union's interest, in particular in the framework of any international organization, agency, conference or forum of which the United Kingdom is a party in its own right. And there's not only the transition period and what happens then, there's also a political declaration for the future. So what does the political declaration set for the future free trade deal? First of all, a level playing field for the free trade. Deep regulatory and customs cooperation is intended already. The political declaration also states that they want ambitious customs objectives that are in line with the parties' objectives and principles. So that means the UK and the EU. They also already declare that they want sharing access to waters and quota shares regarding fishery. So I don't believe that if this intention is followed in a free trade agreement, that there will be much change to today. Also, the UK is supposed to adopt EU rules on state aid rules and relevant tax matters. So that is a problem with lowering tariffs to zero, as it was stated several times before, and that wouldn't work with this declaration. It's not legally binding, I must say, but they agreed that this is the future goal. And they also declared that they want security integration through the European Defence Agency and the European Defence Fund. In case of security, obviously, it is a not too bad thing if there will be close relations, because with today's threats, it can never be wrong. The transition period doesn't necessarily end at the end of 2020. The transition period can be extended. It can be extended for 2 years after December the 31st, 2020, if the UK applies for it or requests it until July 2020. So you see there's not much time until that point, especially if the EU on Monday will grant an extension until the 31st of January. If the end will be Boris Johnson's deal on the 31st of January, then there are only a few months to decide to ask for an extension, because in that time between January and July, you will never get a free trade deal. It's also unlikely that you can do it in the 11 months until the end of the transition period. Look at the other trade deals with Canada, Japan, and so on. They were not that closely aligned in case of regulations and standards and stuff like that. But if the government follows their plan to move away from a lot of these standards and regulations, it will make it harder again to get a free trade deal. But even with the same standards and regulations that apply now, and if the UK doesn't change, it will take longer than 9 months to get a free trade deal with all the other things that have to be part of it, like I said, with the security integration and so on. So the time is too short for a free trade agreement. And that means an extension is necessary if a free trade agreement is the goal of the government. But there are also some things I don't want to leave out that are in this withdrawal agreement and happen after the transition period. And there we are at Northern Ireland especially. Because after the transition period, if there is no free trade deal and the UK leaves then completely after the transition period without a free trade deal, that installs a regulatory border in the Irish Sea between Northern Ireland and the rest of Britain. Goods that are only sent between the rest of the UK and Northern Ireland that are absolutely sure to remain in Northern Ireland are no problem, but goods sent to Northern Ireland that only might go to the EU need custom checks and fall under EU tariffs. So if I remember correctly, somebody said for goods worth 27 billions a year, the companies have to go through all this declaration process, and it's quite a job to do. And this regulation has no end built in. Every 4 years, Stormont has to decide if they want to keep that or not. So at least for 4 years after the exit, this will apply. And I think it's quite a complicated thing. It looks like that this is good in regard to the Good Friday Agreement. Although we still have to talk about the movement of people between the countries and so on. I haven't found that part in the withdrawal agreement yet. I have it here, but it's 537 pages. And so it's a little hard to study, but I'm still working on it. But yet, this is good for the Good Friday Agreement, but quite complicated for economy, obviously. And I don't want to leave that one out. A no deal is still possible, and that's what I meant if they leave after the transition period without a free trade deal. If there's no extension or a free trade agreement on December the 31st of 2020, they leave essentially without a deal, just not Northern Ireland. The rest of the UK will have a no-deal Brexit, and Northern Ireland, at least for 3 more years, will have this regulations I just mentioned in this video. But after that time, if Stormont says we want to get out, there could be a complete no-deal agreement, and we are at the point with a hard border again, and so on and so on. So a no-deal is not off the table, even if Boris Johnson gets this withdrawal agreement through Parliament. That's just one point I didn't want to leave out. I know it was quite a lot, but there are still questions open, I believe. but this is too much in this 537 pages to put it just in one video. I just thought I'd take out the most important parts and go through them. I hope I could bring some more clarity to you what this withdrawal bill would mean. If this is a good thing or a bad thing for you, for the UK, that judgment I leave to you, including all the consequences, all the possibilities I put in there. Of course, I would like to hear your opinion. If you want this deal, if you don't want this deal, what is your opinion on this deal and on the consequences? So please leave a comment and let me know. For now, I thank you for watching. If you haven't done so yet, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click the bell and the notification so you will know when I bring up another Brexit video. Tomorrow is the German video day. Saturdays is always the day for my English videos only. Sundays for German videos only. And for those viewers who have been to my channel before, you know, with Brexit and a lot of happening on Brexit during the week, I often publish videos on the topic of Brexit. Then the German and the English video comes at the same time. That just leaves me now with saying have a nice day and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.